Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, dive into the Pirate Alliance Kizuna Clash versus Luffy and Law with some different Super Boss teams that don't use the Elders. Now, I was pretty naive in the sense of just saying, well, hey, if you bring the Elders, you're going to have a pretty good time when it comes to this particular Super Boss, but I know a lot of people are missing particular Elders, and whilst you can probably replace one, maybe two on each particular team, like, once you start replacing two of them, it does become a little bit lackluster. You realistically want to have at least 4 of the Elders on said team, and with that, you can sort of build out some big damage. But what I've done today is I've tried to ignore the Elders. I've gone completely different, steered away from Driven, and just done some stuff with some older characters and some newer characters as well that do hold their own when it comes to Super Boss content. So I do want to start the video by saying there are still some big hitters, Super Sugos, all that fun stuff. I am using the new Luffy, who honestly is replaceable, to be honest. Like, you could switch the captains. That definitely work. But I do want to start the video by saying I don't think these teams are going to, like, touch the damage than what the Elders are actually doing. But, hey, it's a different option for you guys, and hopefully it gives you guys a little bit of inspiration when you are building your own teams. Alright, so we're going to start it off with the Strength Super Boss. This is the team I put together. Obviously, we are using the new Anniversary exclusive Boa from One Piece Day. We have the Super Sugar Luffy from the start of the Elder Celebration, but we're using a Wiping and Ace as a friend captain. So if you don't have Luffy, you can just pivot Wiping Ace as your captain, and then you just bring a friend Luffy. That's going to work quite nicely. You want to make sure you start your friend captain as Whitebeard, so you get access to the ship special. Again, ship special, it's just more damage, to 1.3 times buff on top of the damage you're already doing. So that's always going to be very, very nice. On stage 2 for this particular team, you have to deal with Special Bind and Defense Up. And to do that, we have a combination of the New Year's Sabo, who can remove Special Bind. He's also here just because he's a Sabo character. And then I have the Onami support on Soba Mask. Soba Mask is going to give you a full body Tandem Orbs. He's kind of replaceable on this particular team, to be honest, but you kind of need another Straw Hat character for the Super Tandem of Luffy, for the EX of Luffy, all that fun stuff. And Soba Mask kind of fit the bill the best. He's a powerhouse character too, which works quite nicely with the territory and the attack boost that you're getting for Wipe It and Ace. So he just worked out to be the best. Plus, like I said, you do want to try and have Tandem Orbs for the final stage because of that very annoying attack down with Quick Orbs. So again, just be mindful of that. The idea here is that you Sabo special and the Soba Mask special, set defense to 0, remove the special bind, and then you also get the attack boost from Soba Mask. And if you hit 2 perfects, you get a chain boost on the final stage. So the idea would be to hit with Sabo, then hit with Lucci and Kaku, and that's your 2 perfects, and then go into something like Soba Mask and Wipe It Ace, all that fun stuff as well. On the final stage, you have Wipe It and Ace for your attack boost, your powerhouse territory. Luffy's your orb booster. Lucci and Kaku give you color affinity to fighter characters and Driven, but mainly for fighters. They also remove the chain lock. They give you a chain lock. Boa gives you the conditional boost, as well as give you a double stacking conditional boost effect, which allows you to get the cheeky little 1.5 with Brook on Luffy. But again, if you don't have Luffy, you just use Wipe It and Ace, and you can do some stuff. Now, Soba Mask, honestly, he is quite replaceable here if you don't have the 6+. You just kind of want someone that can either do, like, defense down, or you can just replace him with like a color affinity booster and use the super swap of Lucci and Kaku on that particular stage, on stage 2. That should work the best, because remember with Sabo, because you have an Ace and a Luffy, you can actually get the Tandem Orbs with his EX, which is going to work quite nicely. Sabo is literally just here purely because Ace, Wipe It and Ace needs 3 characters for their EX, and that's Boa, Sabo, and Luffy. And then Luffy can also use Sabo for his Super Tandem. The idea of this team is you want to go rush with Ace, Whitebeard, tap into Soba Mask, which will break the chain for the Super Tandem of Sabo, hit with Sabo, and then hit with Luffy, which should trigger the Luffy Super Tandem. You might have to go like rush Ace into Luffy, Sabo, and then Soba Mask. Realistically, you don't want to do that, but like if you have to do it, like it might be just something that you need to do. Unfortunately, we have no final tap on this particular team. The rush is obviously hitting first. You do have a pretty good Super Tandem, and obviously have a lot of color affinity for Lucci and Kaku anyway. So like they are going to hit decently well, but they're not going to be doing like the crazy amounts of damage as I mentioned at the start of the video, where you are going absolutely ballistic against or with the Elders. Alright, so something I completely glossed over was the fact that Wipe It and Ace give like a massive chain boost. So realistically, like, you don't want to hit the perfects on turn 2. You want to make sure that Soba Mask is in the middle left, and then Lucci and Kaku are in the bottom on the bottom left. Otherwise, Boa, like, you need to use Boa to remove the bind. It shouldn't matter all that much, but, like, Boa just sort of needs to go first. That's sort of, like, the premise here. If you have the new Sugo Frankie with the new Sugo Brook support, you could definitely use that instead. And then instead of having Sober Mask here, you just have Frankie, and he's going to give you a set target as well, so that's be even more damage if you actually have him. But I just wanted to keep it the same as the video from what I was talking about. So thing with Frankie is he has a really good final tap, but you kind of can't use it with this team because unless you replace Boa, but you can't use it because you want the Super Tandem to sort of trigger early. That's kind of the big problem here. You have to sort of replace, like I said, maybe like Luchikaku with another Straw Hat character, or even Boa with someone like that. So the idea here is we're going to rush, see if this works, see what the damage looks like, and go from there. Remember, you have to hit with Sob Mask before Sabo, so let's see how that goes. Let's see if it even works. Alright, so here we go. The Whitebeard and Ace Rush into Sob Mask, into Sabo. This should trigger the Super Tandem of Luffy, which it does. Now, Luffy will then set defense to 0 through his Super Tandem. So the damage numbers are going to be a little bit off here because we obviously have the set defense to 0 thanks to Lucci and Kaku, which we realistically wouldn't have. And only these last 3 characters are the ones that are hitting with the extra conditional buff. So there we go, about 508 billion damage. So again, nothing too crazy. Bit of a shame. Luffy obviously has boosted stats, but like if you're not running the elder characters, you are going to struggle with this super boss. Again, Frankie will probably double that, so like you are looking at a lot more damage with Frankie as well. Alright, so moving on to the next fight, it's against the Int Super Boss, and this one's a bit of a weird one. If you use Type Advantage, he will actually change into a Sai Super Boss. For the friend captain, we're using Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji with this particular team, and the idea here is we're sort of making it very free spirit-centric. Now, on turn 2, I believe, there is bind, and if you remove the bind, you have to deal with defense up, so the idea here is that we're using Gear 5 6-star. He's going to take care of the bind for us. Don't have to worry about it at all. And once you go into his Gear 5 form, you can bypass the damage reduction and the threshold on the final stage. Now, the cooldowns for this fight are Powerhouse, Driven, and Fighter, so he does get cooldowns, but the rest of the team don't. But the upside to using the Anniversary Shanks and Ace as a Sailor is you actually get 2 turns of cooldown with their crewmate abilities, which is really, really handy. On top of that, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji gives you 2 turns of cooldown at the start of the quest. You then have 2 turns with your ship, you have 2 turns with your sockets, and you're already looking at 8 turns of cooldown. And then if you take into consideration the first turn, which has an interrupt, the second turn, which is like a kill a turtle, interrupt, kill stage 2, interrupt, you're looking at another 6 turns of cooldown on top of the 8. So you're looking at about 14 turns of just natural stalling cooldowns, but with the Brûlé support and the Mr. 3 support, you can actually get the cooldowns for Ace and Nami. The idea with Nami is you use her special. She's going to give you the weakening effect. I believe she needs, 3 Straw Hat characters on the team? Is it 3 or is it 4? Yeah, 3 or more Straw Hats on the team, and then she gives that ability, which is great because we have our Luffy, we have Nami, and then we have Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. Shanks has the Sailor ability, not Sailor, the potential ability to remove the limit break, this one right here, reduce the special limit, so it's another really good upside to him, and then he has the Giant support to remove 3 turns of burn, which is just excellent. Law is our attack booster, he gives us the tap time, and he gives 1 turn of cooldown back to Nami as well. He has the support of VV for color affinity on free spirit characters, which is going to basically block the free spirit of Luffy, so that way you don't trigger the type swap. Finally, Aces, he's our type affinity. He's also going to increase that little tiny color affinity as well. This way, we get the 2 turns of cooldowns back for Nami, then she can get the increased damage taken ability, and yeah, we have the double stacking attack and all boost of Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. We have a little chain boost there with Sanji there too, and this team, it should perform just like you guys saw with the quick team, but again, without having the elders, it's going to be tricky. Alright, so I'm really bad at hitting my excellence with this particular team, so just be mindful that this damage that you guys are about to see, it is with the perfects from Ace and Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. So the idea here is we are going to rush with Ace, and then we're basically just going to final tap with our Luffy, Zoro, Sanji friend captain there, because he's the slasher, so you're getting all the extra buffs from Nami. Realistically, we could probably use the Super Tandem of Nami as well. Nami does need Luffy, Zoro, Sanji in that to sort of like to tap it, but we can use the Law Super Tendon as well, which is probably going to give us a little bit more damage with a little bit of extra hitters. So the idea here is we're going to rush with Ace. Ace is the free spirit character that goes into the Law Super Tandem. A lot of you guys will have a maxed out Law compared to a Nami as well, so I feel like this is probably a little bit more realistic for you guys as well. We can then go into our Luffy, which triggers the Super Tandem. We get the Super Tandem boost still because Law is... I think this is it Egghead? Or I can't exactly remember what the exact reasoning is for Law, but you still get the Super Tandem boost. But as you can see there, like, the damage is pretty fucking abysmal, to be honest. It's pretty pathetic. So what, 275 billion damage, which is, yeah, kind of low, if I'm being honest. But hey, like I said at the start of the video, if you don't have the elders, you are going to struggle. But as always, Superboss Kizuna is a time to come together and keep an eye out on YouTube. Heaps of people will be putting other stuff up and about. But again, like, the elders are going to be the wave. And if you can, like, if you have 4 of them, say, for example, you're just missing, like, Ethan, or you're missing, like, Ethan and Peter, you can just, like, bring, like, a friend captain Peter. Or if you're missing, like, say, Mars and Peter, you can try and do some fun stuff with the friend captain system. But hopefully this video gives you guys a little bit of an idea on what the damage numbers look like in terms of the difference. Like, for the Elders team, like, I'm doing, like, 13, trillion damage, which is absolutely crazy. So it is going to create quite a large gap between a lot of players as well. But like I said, try and put something together with the Elders if you can. If you can't, hopefully this seems to help you out. If they do, but like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy this your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later!